Okay, this is the little experiment that I did with my students not too long ago. Every single color here represents one person or a group of people from the society. This is Germany, this is a society. So what we're gonna do is we're going to add some water. Okay, and we're gonna leave it just like that and we're gonna watch what's gonna happen. Okay, so this is about 1 minute. This is what I would believe a beautiful melting pot should look like, right? A melting pot, or maybe even a salad, people would say, like a garden salad. But anyways, the cultures are mixing, we are still in our own lane, but at the same time we make up one society. We'll actually watch what's gonna happen later on. So this will happen while I'm filming the video and we'll come back to it later on. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Chris checking in with another video. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you who sent me best wishes as I did have surgery 2 weeks ago. As you can see, the band-aid is off. I am doing well and I just had my stitches removed. So thank you guys so much for wishing me well. I got back to work and I wanted to talk to you guys about a project that we're working on in our school, which is diversity. Wir sind anders, or wir sind unterschiedlich is the topic that we're engaging in the school. When it comes to teaching kids here in Germany, I realize that there's certain things that are culturally different, and I want to go into this topic to address some of those things. So my name is Chris, I'm from Michigan, I am a French teacher here in Munich, Germany, and yes, on this channel I talk about societal issues like this one today. I talk about Germany, I talk about China, I talk about life, I speak 6 languages. So if you find that some of these topics may be interesting for you, hit that subscribe button, activate the notification button so that you can be aware of the videos that I post usually every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Berlin time so you don't miss a video. So guys, please don't mind me if I'm looking at my computer. I have my notes here because I did do a lot of research and a lot of preparation on this video today. So just a heads up. So basically the first point that I want to address is racism at work. I am an educator and I work in a predominantly white school. When we teach kids, our goal is to be as transparent with kids about the society as possible. So when it comes to teaching kids about sensitive topics, and I know that racism in Germany is a very, very sensitive topic, some of my interactions with some of my German colleagues has been rather idiosyncratic. An example of this is talking about animals, for example, and making comparisons between humans and animals. In an American context, this is utterly unacceptable. You can never compare a human being, especially a person of color, to a monkey. I wasn't personally called a monkey, but I have a colleague who was talking about animals. Now, mind you, it wasn't the kids who had made this egregious comment. In fact, it was a colleague of ours who had said, "Hey, schau mal, das ist der Cousin von so and so and so." And of course, my colleague was really offended. He said, "Hey, this is not okay, that's not funny." And he's like, "Ah, Quatsch. You know, it's just kidding. In Germany, it's okay. You don't have to be so defensive. It's okay to say that, you know, like it's a monkey, but you know, alles gut, es hat nur Spaß gemacht," is what was said. And then I spoke to a few colleagues of mine actually, and I said, "Do you think that this is not offensive, or what is your opinion on this?" And they said, "Actually, this isn't offensive. He was just kidding. He didn't mean it in a disrespectful way." So then the question comes, how is it that you know? How is it you are 100% sure that you're not being disrespectful? Now, granted, I'm speaking to someone who is white, a white German, okay? I could be wrong, but I highly doubt that this guy, who is a white German man, has ever had to deal with being discriminated for being a black man in Germany. So how is it that this person knows that they're being discriminatory or not, or if they're being offensive or not? So this is one of the main reasons why we are having this project at our school, to talk about racism of children, because I do see tendencies where in Germany, certain things are allowed to be said, and certain racism, in my opinion, is contextual. So in the United States, it's 100% unacceptable to refer to a child or to refer to anybody as a monkey. Especially a black kid, it's unacceptable. I've talked to a few German friends as well as German colleagues, and they said it comes down to if the person meant it jokingly or if they meant it in an offensive way. In my mind, regardless if you were joking or not, if you know me or not, you still shouldn't say things that way. It's just culturally unacceptable for me to ever refer to a human being, especially a black human being or a person of color, as a monkey, or to say that is this person's cousin. But yes, so I'm trying to find ways in which I can maneuver this conversation in German and explain to Germans and the people in my community, why is it that comparing a person of color to a monkey is egregious and utterly, utterly disrespectful. Let's think about this referring to another human being, chiefly in this case, a black human being, as a monkey from a historical perspective. According to the conversation, Africa for years has been labeled as a contagious continent incubating pestilences of all sorts in hot, muggy jungles spread by reckless and sexually unrestrained people. So this analogy that black people are unrestrained, they reproduce, they're reckless, they have disease, it's comparing someone to a monkey. I'll attach the link below if you're interested in reading this article. And even in different cultures, hey, black itself, even in Chinese culture, has a very, very deep-rooted meaning. It could be viewed as witchcraft. It could be viewed as you occupy a lower socioeconomic stratum, because if you have dark skin, that means you need to be working in the fields, whereas people with lighter skin work in the houses, so they don't have to work at all. They're not exposed to the sun, which means that they're in a higher socioeconomic stratum. So to put this into a modern perspective, guys, we see this phenomenon prevalent throughout all society, as well, especially when it comes to football. So famous football players, for example, the Milan football player Romelu Lukaku was once subjugated to monkey chats during a football match. And some of his own fans shrugged it off as business as usual. So the fact that referring to someone as a monkey is some way in society accepted as business as usual is copiously problematic. Of course, this happened in an Italian context, but still we're focusing on the fact that how is it that adults, functioning adults, could think it could be okay to refer to another human being as a monkey, especially a black human being, to kind of understand how is it that, regardless of whatever circumstance you are in, this cannot be perceived as a joke, or it cannot be perceived as something that is not offensive. In 2014, CNN reported Barcelona soccer star Dani Alves had a banana thrown at him. And what he did to combat this racism is he picked the banana up. He literally picked the banana up. This is what CNN said. And he bit back. He bit back. So he basically took the racism that was thrown at him, and he said, hey, you're not offending me. This is it. You're not getting to under my skin. This is his silent protest against racism. So we see that even in the world of adults, where in professional spaces where people don't really take this monkey thing seriously, that doesn't go to say that everybody in Germany, or that everybody across Europe thinks that it's okay to refer to another human being as a monkey. But in terms of a German context, even some colleagues of mine have said, oh, das Kind so süß wie ein Affe. To me, deep down in my American mind, you can never, ever say this. You can never say, oh, the child is so cute, like a little monkey. My blood crawls. You can never say that to someone. And I asked a few German friends, it's like, well, Chris, you know, he's cute, kind of like a cute monkey. I don't think it's offensive. Mind you, this kid is a mixed kid, right? So it's even more problematic. Some of my friends would say, yeah, you don't necessarily refer to a black child as a monkey, but a white child you can call a monkey. Why is it that we have a preference or a standard for using racial slurs or something that could be perceived as racism based on someone's skin tone? Why not just not say it altogether? So to bring this back to the initial topic, why is it imperative to teach kids, I'm an educator, why is it imperative to teach kids about the dangers of using this vocabulary? Notes I have written here is, in terms of grooming children to become vital pieces of society through holistic pedagogy, referring to other human beings as animals in front of children is counterproductive, dehumanizing, and simply not nice, honestly. In my experience, when I engage with Germans about this conversation, in regards to this conversation in a personal and a professional context, they say referring to someone, or referring to me, or referring to a colleague, or referring to someone else as a monkey is a sign of endearment, it is a sign of friendship. But I want to let you guys know how we feel when we hear this. It's not friendly, it's not funny. There's a cultural and there's a historical context behind why this is painful to many people in our community, in our society. Look at slavery, look at colonialism, look at hundreds of years of Black humiliation, being constantly referred to as monkeys, and then you come to a school and you work in a place where you're consistently being referred to as a monkey. Or for example, you have children that say, look at you, you look like a monkey, or whatever, like, oh, the monkey looks like you, because they see, there's a lot of, I guess, similar features in a primate's facial structure that you can find in our facial structure, apparently, but still that's just really offensive, given the cultural and historical context behind it. It is not something that will ever be received friendly from a person of color, and I wouldn't say this to anybody, regardless of your skin tone. If you're white, black, brown, purple, blue, I would never refer to you as an animal. I just don't think, culturally speaking, that's okay. This video thus serves as an invitation to my community, you guys, to have a dialogue about microaggressive, overt forms of racism that perpetuates this vicious cycle of racism that we have in the 21st century, which is referring to human beings as monkeys and problematizing it in a space where we are educators. We're educating our kids to grow up in society, to learn French, to learn English, to learn German, in places where they'll have, for example, professors who are Black, who have professors who are from Africa, or professors who are African American like me, who don't appreciate being called these things. It's really important to understand. I think that is the purpose of pedagogy, getting kids ready to become vital members of the society. And becoming a vital member of a society to me means that you respect those around you, that you're conscientious and cognizant of the people around you, and that you're aware of some of the struggles that they go through. So my question to you, my community, my dear community, and I have this written here, bring it back to our experiment, which I'm going to show you now because it has taken a completely different form. To bring this back to our experiment, my dear community, I have a question for you guys. In my school, where I work, we teach our children that this multicolor that you see is a philosophical representation of the wealth of diversity that makes up German society. Germans, do you agree with the notion that your society is a multicolored, inclusive melting pot where all colors and cultures are welcome? If you can say no, does that mean that you are prejudiced or that you have racial tendencies? What are your thoughts on that? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm really interested in seeing your comments. Again, I know talking about racism in Germany is really, really sensitive, but I have dealt with some sentiments I have dealt with racism here in Germany, and I think it's really difficult speaking to Germans about it because Germany has been a predominantly white country for the longest time and still very much is. And I just think that there needs to be a modicum of sensitivity when engaging with minority communities in this immigrant country. And yes, I do believe in Germany as an immigrant country because you in this country can get passports. You can get passports in this country. You can get permanent residence and turn your permanent residence into passports, which shows that Germany is open to immigration. Whereas in China, you cannot get passports from China unless you have a Chinese heritage. You can only get permanent residence in a very extremely rare case. So this is how I define the immigrant country. So again, in this immigrant country, are we a society that's open to multifaceted peoples, I suppose, and colors of people, and how is that we engage with them? How do we refer to them, even if we're trying to be endearing? Is referring to someone who you want to be endearing to by using the word monkey, is that something that is endearing? And if you personally think it's endearing, can you listen to the other person's explanation without immediately jumping to your conclusions as to how they should feel or telling them that they're being too sensitive? Because in many cases, especially if you are white, you will never, ever have to live and walk on this earth as a Black person in a predominantly white country and deal with some of the things that we deal with. So again, I'm interested in seeing your comments below. Like I said, I know racism is a very and prejudice. This is a very complicated topic to talk about in Germany, but I don't think it should be. I think we should be more open about the society that we live in and more realistic about the society. And I don't think these conversations should be so swept under the rug and people should feel uncomfortable about it. As I said, this YouTube channel is a place where I encourage discussion. So I really hope that you guys let me know what your opinion is, let me know what your thoughts are. You don't have to disagree with me. I'm open to engaging with your thoughts and I look forward to reading them. So let's get back to the project. This is what the project looks like now. This is what I envision German society looks like. You have multifaceted color. We are a melting pot. We are mixed. We're still in a society. We're still in a line. Yes, we've moved a little bit because that's what happens when we have new incomers in our country. We have to adjust ourselves, but we can still coexist beautifully. This is the message that we're teaching children. This is how we're teaching children to be open-minded. This is how we're teaching children to be embracive of different cultures and to do so respectfully and in a very unified way.